Chapter 7. The Test. Back in Boston, I set my research team to work making our fledgling surgery checklist more usable. We tried to follow the lessons from aviation. We made it clearer. We made it speedier. We adopted mainly a do-confirm rather than a redo format, to give people greater flexibility in performing their tasks while nonetheless having them stop at key points to confirm that critical steps have not been overlooked. The checklist emerged vastly improved. Next, we tested it in a simulator, otherwise known as the conference room on my hallway at the School of Public Health where I do research. We had an assistant lie on a table. She was our patient. We assigned different people to play the part of the surgeon, the surgical assistant, the nurses, one scrubbed in and one circulating, and the anesthesiologist. But we hit problems just trying to get started. Who, for example, was supposed to bring things to a halt and kick off the checklist? We'd been vague about that, but it proved no small decision. Getting everyone's attention in an operation requires a degree of assertiveness, a level of control that only the surgeon routinely has. Perhaps, I suggested, the surgeon should get things started. I got booed for this idea. In aviation, there is a reason the pilot not flying starts the checklist, someone pointed out. The pilot flying can be distracted by flight tasks and liable to skip a checklist. Moreover, dispersing the responsibility sends the message that everyone, not just the captain, is responsible for the overall well-being of the flight and should have the power to question the process. If a surgery checklist was to make a difference, my colleagues argued, it needed to do likewise to spread responsibility and the power to question. So we had the circulating nurse call the start. Must nurses make written check marks? No, we decided, they didn't have to. This wasn't a record-keeping procedure. We were aiming for a team conversation to ensure that everyone had reviewed what was needed for the case to go as well as possible. Every line of the checklist needed tweaking. We timed each successive version by a clock on the wall. We wanted the checks at each of the 3 pause points before anesthesia, before incision, and before leaving the OR to take no more than about 60 seconds, and we weren't there yet. If we wanted acceptance in the high-pressure environment of operating rooms, the checklist had to be swift to use. We would have to cut some lines, we realized, the non-killer items. This proved the most difficult part of the exercise. An inherent tension exists between brevity and effectiveness. Cut too much and you won't have enough checks to improve care. Leave too much in and the list becomes too long to use. Furthermore, an item critical to one expert might not be critical to another. In the spring of 2007, we reconvened our WHO group of international experts in London to consider these questions. Not surprisingly, the most intense disagreements flared over what should stay in and what should come out.